Hi, this is Shanzai.com and we're back doing some phone reviews for you. We haven't done one for a little while, but we're quite happy to return and do a video of the CoolA668, which is the product that we're looking at here today. The A668 is a very interesting phone in that it combines a lot of very interesting features into a smartphone phone form factor. As you can tell from an initial look at the device, it has a somewhat of a BlackBerry feel to it, thanks to the smaller screen size. It's a 240 by 320 resolution 2.4 inch screen, and also of course the physical onboard keyboard. What makes the device really interesting and unique though is the fact that the actual keyboard rotates, and when you go into the game or multimedia mode features of the device, you can use this particular keyboard, which includes shortcuts to video, camera, games and music functions, as well as a very PSP-like gamepad. And using those keys while you're playing a game actually does improve your gameplay ability greatly. I found it very usable, very good to the touch, and easy to interact with each of the different keys without mashing any of the buttons or whatnot. For that part, I think it's quite good. You'll also notice there's a large speaker here in the center, which gives off quite a bit of noise when you're not using the headphones. Now, the other interesting thing about the device is that it looks a little bit more like some of the Google Android phones. When it's in the twisted position, it starts to have a small bend to it, but flipping it back to its original position changes it back to a more BlackBerry-sized device. Here's an iPhone beside it, so you can just get a little bit of an idea about size comparison. It's actually quite small and a good fit for your pocket. The other thing is very impressive at first glance. When you play around with the devices, you'll notice that the build quality feels incredibly solid. You know, despite the fact that you've got a lot of moving parts on the device, it just doesn't feel like it's going to break. Everything feels good and strong. There's a rubberized finish on the background, which I actually prefer. With my iPhone, one of the things I've always hated is how much it picks up the dirt and the fingerprints with the piano finish. This rubberized black finish, I think, really adds a lot of quality to the product. It's quite good. One thing you'll also note on the back is there's a flash and camera. It's actually a 0.3 megapixel camera, not quite as impressive as the 12.1 megapixel spec that they have here on the back, which also includes autofocus. So that's a little bit misleading, but actually the camera in itself, when we tested it out, worked fine. There's a digital game label on the back here to let users know that it is more of a multimedia game/phone rather than just your average telephone. The keyboard on the front side, pounding out SMS messages or emails on this was actually surprisingly good. It's hard to see here on the camera, but there are little ridges on each of the keys, so when you're typing in numbers, and it is actually quite easy to do, there's no problems with jamming or hitting too many keys at the same time. The other thing you'll notice as we fired up the software here a little bit is that they've skinned this is a Windows CE device, but they've skinned it with a, I would say, BlackBerry-like type user interface. Now, I would say also it's simplified the Windows CE experience this way, and it's also greatly improved it, I would say. It actually just makes the Windows CE experience feel a lot better for navigating around and using the device. It's very easy when you're on a mail-like icon to know that you're supposed to be emailing or in your phone book or multimedia functionality. The other thing that's very cool about the device is that when you twist the keyboard into the multimedia keyboard function, it actually switches the icons all over to all of your multimedia functionality of the device, so you don't have to fiddle with the software to get onto that. That's fantastic. Now, one of the other unique and interesting features about the device is it has this lovely little pointy stick here for pointing at the chalkboard. No, actually that is an aerial antenna for a onboard TV. Now, the TV functionality is really reliant a lot on your location and where what your aerial positioning is like. If you look there, you can see possibly some nice Chinese TV going on there. It's quite good quality when you're in the right position. When you're not, it's kind of functions like your old TV set did when you had to bang it on the back of the set back in the, let's say back in the 70s. The TV functionality is good, but it only handles over-the-air broadcasts, so there's actually probably a limited number of television stations that you could get in your area. But still a very nice, cool, extra add-on kind of feature. Fun to show your friends and play around with when you're bored. The video player and the video recording functionality are good, although not spectacular on the device. It has an FM radio built in as well that can take advantage of that antenna, which sounds quite good when you have the headphones on. overall, it really is a great multimedia phone with excellent phone quality. So the good parts of it: excellent multimedia, excellent basic phone functions. Probably the only weaknesses of the phone are more in the, say, productivity tasking software type areas. You're probably not going to be doing too many Word documents or Excel sheets and things like you might try on other Windows CE based phones. This is really a phone that's primarily targeted at people who it's a business looking but a very fun multimedia type phone. It's not priced too expensively. I think that you can see on the Merry Mobile's website what they're selling it for. It's a little over $100, I believe. I would say the CoolA668 phone is actually one of the better phones we've reviewed so far.